Talofa lava, my name is Timo Tagaloa, and I am from West Auckland. Grew up in Te Ratu South, from a family of 6 brothers, 2 sisters, Samoan ethnicity, and now living in Massey with my wife and 2 sons, 20 and 18, and enjoying life. We weren't the richest family in the neighbourhood, so I think for all of us as family, as a typical family, we had to carry a lot of responsibilities and do a lot of chores around the house and things like that. So that was the sort of kind of lifestyle that I was brought up with. Yeah, we had to basically share each other's clothes, and then we didn't have a very big house, so we had to sleep in one bed or beds together kind of thing. So yeah, just those sort of things we had to sort of deal with, and it's just all part and parcel of what it was like to sort of struggle in that kind of environment with poverty and all that stuff. But we were still content. We weren't that too complaining a little bit, but yeah, it was pretty cool. My granddad, mum's dad, used to live with us, and so he would teach us the piano, and oh man, that was entertaining. The key values, and obviously, was the family environment, just the tightness of the family. I think was key. It's just a thing that my parents came over from Samoa, bringing that value. Family is very important, so that would be something that my sons would want to experience, and what we want to try to encourage them with, and just respect and working hard. I think sports helps just to help build a person's confidence. Sports is, particularly when you're playing in a team sport, I think sports is relative to life, in the sense that there's going to be wins and losses, and how you deal with those losses is a big thing.
But right from as early as I remember, I mean, Timo was he was the man, and not just on the sports field, but he was, because of who he was and his personality, and he was pretty quiet and reserved, but he was just he was like a pillar for all of us. We all looked up to him. So carried through that through to high school, of course, and so our relationship just grew and grew and grew over those years, from probably 6, 7, 8. So by the time we got to high school, I mean, he essentially was starting to really step up in terms of being noticed for his athletics plus his rugby, and so we sort of just all tagged along and sort of lived in his sort of glory and his glow, because he was the man.
But just to support them in any way that they can, particularly when they're not doing so well, to still be positive. And I think it's just coming back down to just education and understanding the pressures that they see, and making sure that they don't add to that pressure by being negative to them, but encouraging them. Spirituality is valuable for the young Pacific. The pressures of the social media, the technology that a lot of these young Pacific Islanders have access to, with the cell phone, all those sort of things, it can really begin to give people that kind of identity of who they are, and so they might find their identity in those sort of things. And so with the spirituality, I think it's been valuable to help, again, give that balance. But I know for me personally, it's just helped my life, my journeys through ups and downs, how to deal with those sort of things. And it's just given me just a purpose in my life. I think there's a lot of young Pacific Islanders that don't have any purpose in what they're doing. So with my spirituality and my personal relationship with the Lord, it's just given me that purpose in my life where I didn't have that before. mum and dad were part of that, but I think, you know, just with other peers and other sports guys, obviously Michael, I think when I was in Henderson High School, we had a good close knit of great guys that we were peers. You know, I think of Michael Jones and then Alfred Naro, just our first 15. In some ways we were about a little family. So those are just some good ways just to hang around with those guys and be encouraged by them and creating that good family environment. Obviously having Michael's mum, Auntie Maina, and Nofuinga's mum, you know, Nofuinga and all those guys, just that whole family, extended family. And when I look back on those sort of things, just how that was valuable and that cemented a big thing in my life that obviously is with me to this day. So, but I think what was startling for me was when I'd go down to Michael's place, there was always something happening in the religious terms. There was some kind of a Bible study that was going on or something like that, and I think it was a lot of the students from Bible college, which back then would come to Auntie Maina's house. So that was really my first exposure to something other than I thought was outside of religion, and seeing these guys praying and doing these kind of things. But then I think just Michael's lifestyle, he was quite very well. Yeah, I think he had a desire to make sure that the other person, he was always interested in the other person, and had that servant heart.
For me, he was the epitome of just being very, you know, having a very sort of stable, even-keeled type of guy. You know, he was very consistent in everything he did. And so, you know, obviously at high school, rugby was his, and basketball, he just blossomed, and I was just really privileged to be part of his life during that time. And you know, I just have so many fond memories of our relationship, both on the basketball court and the rugby field, or the cricket field, and off, of course, as just one of my best mates.
It really just was a good example of an awesome role model that he was, and obviously him and Derek and the rest of the family too were all like that as well. They're very much you know, very caring and willing to just step out and help anybody that they could. Frances, you know, she's been just a great rock for me in the sense of not only is she good looking, but she has a great spirituality. Her spirituality is very key for her as well. So that's another thing that's been very important for us. So with that in mind, we have that same sort of mindset where we want to begin to honor one another, respect one another. And it's just we're able to create that great relationship in the sense that you know, I can be again just vulnerable to her, and there's that willingness that she's going to be there to try to encourage me and help me through some things as well as. So that really helps too when you have that kind of support from that. Particularly with going through my sports, she was the one that would probably be very helpful in helping me with the way I play my game. And when she's my first, but she was very, you know, she'd be critical, but she was very positive in those sort of things, and that was just a good way of just helping me, marrying her and doing this together for the last 21 years has been awesome. And so I love her a lot, and so yes, it's just fantastic. If you want to talk to someone that you can be confident in, that's going to be trustworthy, that's willing to listen and really hear your heart. But I think it's key. I think you can't begin to hide yourself under a mask, because eventually it's going to come out. But as you begin to share those sort of struggles and things that you're going through, it's going to be very, very helpful for you in the long run. And so I think it's really key. And particularly men in general, you know, but also Pacific men, we just got to be more willing to do that, and really be willing to just say, hey, look, you know, I want to lay my heart on the table. Here's what I'm going through, and I want your support. I don't want you to judge me. I don't want you to condemn me. I just want you just to listen, and you know, can you point me to someone that could help me? If not, then I want you to pray for me and just keep me accountable. It's good to fail, and you learn from those sort of things, but the thing is, you need to acknowledge that and not try to just keep it in a staunch kind of a macho, now I've got it all together kind of staunchy kind of look, but to realise, hey, I want to be vulnerable, I'm struggling, I'm failing, I need help. Back then I really didn't have anyone that I could really talk to, because I'm not sure if they would really understand, even my family, my parents. So this kind of thing I had to sort of deal with myself, was my own demons that I was dealing with. So those are sort of things that sort of just triggered on. So I think the thing too was I was dwelling a lot on my negativity of who I was, and so that's the thing that really played a lot on my mind, was that I was talking to myself in a negative way, and saying that I was worthless, saying that I'm not worthy to be playing rugby at that level, or I'm not worthy to be a good person. Because I think a lot of it was based on the fact that I wanted to please other people.
What we saw was just the same old focused, disciplined, talented athlete who was, very much committed to the things that he was passionate about. And then we never saw any signs that anything was different. He was just, ripping it up on the field, on the sport field, in the sport arena. I think he was doing pretty good at school. If I remember rightly, he had a pretty girlfriend, and he was just sort of living what you pretty expect from a sort of a young man who was a sports star in our community.
Well, I think that the critical moment was when I think just choosing, I think it's that choice that I made on my own, just to seek that spirituality. It enabled me just to stay positive, and slowly but surely, I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but slowly but surely those sort of things began to trigger in my mind. But it's a matter of us making that choice, because that's the thing it comes down to. But when you do make that choice, to make sure that you're finding someone that you can talk to about it, because people need to talk about it. We need to get out there and talk about it, and realise that we want to be on this journey together and help each other together. Talofa lava, my name is Timo Tagaloa, and I am an advocate for suicide prevention.